Hey guys, and welcome into our College Football Bowl preview show. I'm Amber Wilson, and joining me is our very own college football analyst, Rob Shaw. And Rob, we got to start off with the poinsettiable, or poinsettiable, I suppose, as some people might call it. Number 9, Boise State at 12-0, the undefeated Boise State, as we all know, snubbed by the BCS, as some would say, versus number 11, TCU. What do you see going on in this one?
What I see going on is the possibility of a team going undefeated and not being a national champion, which is just a very odd situation. But when you actually consider how this team has played throughout the year, we all know that they have plenty of offense. But the thing that makes them different, and it's going to be challenging for TCU, is the fact that they do both pass and they rush very well. Now, we've seen so many times guys go out there and rush for over 50 yards in one play. Consider that TCU allows fewer than 50 yards rushing per game. That's a ridiculous stat, but it's going to be very difficult to stop Boise State because of the fact that they passed as well. So that being said, I like Boise State in this one.
I think a lot of people probably like Boise State in this one, as do I. The Hawaii Bowl we have to talk about as well. That one, of course, in Hawaii, as you guys guessed. Well, you know, you have Hawaii versus Notre Dame in this one. Notre Dame at 6-6. Disappointing season for all those Fighting Irish fans out there. Charlie Weiss, his job was a little bit in jeopardy, but apparently he is coming back after the bowl game. A win here, though, would certainly help maybe ease those fans' minds a little bit.
A little bit.
Maybe against Hawaii.
But they probably won't win. That's the problem that we're running into.
It's a long trip for them.
It's actually been 15 years since they last won a bowl game. So you got that going for you. Then on top of that, Jimmy Clausen is obviously the quarterback there. He's incredibly inconsistent and also very predictable. The problem they run into is that Hawaii's offense, even though they don't have the big offense they had last year that allowed them to be in a BCS bowl game, they are very good. They could still post up some pretty large numbers, so it's going to be very tough for Notre Dame to try to keep up with them, and obviously traveling across the country and over water and everything, it's going to be a little complicated.
Yeah, a little complicated. That's a long trip. The Citrus Bowl pits Wisconsin against Florida State. Wisconsin sits at 7-5, while Florida State, big-time program, especially for those of us down here in Florida, sits at 8-4, although a program I'm not a big fan of, as probably everybody knows who watches us at this point. What do you see going on in this one?
Well, you know, I think that a lot of people are upset with Florida State. They're a little frustrated with Florida State, but they should actually be pleased. They are improving. I mean, they're 8-4 this year. They played some pretty good games. At one point, they were a top 20 institution. They're getting better, and the big thing about this is that they've changed a great deal. They got rid of Drew Weatherford, their senior quarterback. They went with a sophomore and Christian Ponder. Devontae Richardson goes out there as well. He put some numbers up. The fact that both those quarterbacks are mobile allowed Anton Smith in the backfield to get some big numbers. In my opinion, it's Wisconsin that's a disappointment this year. They got off to a great start. They were a top 10 team for a while, and then they just snowballed. So that being said, I don't think there's any chance that they're going to be able to compete with Florida State. Expect an FSU win.
The Emerald Bowl hits another big-time Florida program, actually. It's fallen from glory in recent years in Miami. 7-5, they might be on their way up a little bit too. Young squad versus Cal, who sits at 8-4. What do you see going on here?
I'm not as positive when it comes to Miami. I think that's a team that's really struggling right now. They lost the last couple of games. Very disappointing. Javad Best is the kid to know for California. He had over 500 total rushing yards in the last 2 games, including over 300 his most recent game. Those are huge numbers. And the bad news for Miami fans is that Miami's awful against the rush, rather. So you've got 2 things going against you there. I don't see any way they're going to be able to do it, especially, again, flying across the country is a factor. They're going to have the home fan base there for Cal. I don't like Miami's chances.
All right, thanks for all of your analysis, Rob. And for all of your best college football bowl previews, keep it right here at opensports.com. So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.